Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and I am at the 2023 North America International Auto Show in Detroit, where I am on a quest to find the best, most roomy, most comfortable third row vehicle in the game. There's a lot to choose from here. I'm at Volkswagen. Let's go ahead and take a look right in here. This is the 2024 Atlas. This is their new or facelifted version of their popular three-row SUV, and this looks like as good a starting place as any to get in and check out the third row of vehicles. The first thing I want to call out, VW gets huge bonus points with the way you get into the back seat. These seats tilt and fold forward and allow you to keep a child seat in place while still accessing the third row. We have a two-person third row back here. It is rather dark because everything is black. I'm gonna go ahead and move that headrest up and get comfortable back here. So my hat just barely touches the ceiling. I'm 5'10", it's fairly comfortable, knees not too high up, but let's bring the seat back into place and see. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just barely touching, but I am quite comfortable back here. I can definitely ride back here with someone else my size and not interrupt them or disrupt them whatsoever. So that is a nice touch. I really like the way these second row seats fold. I will go ahead and take a look down here. Like I said, two-person 50-50 split, but no lower latch points here in the back seat of the VW Atlas. Now, since it's so dark in here, let's head out and find another three-row. That VW Atlas did a good job, but what about a proper body-on-frame, huge, big SUV like the very popular Chevy Tahoe? What is that like? Well, first and foremost, getting into the back seat, you can see the seats tilt and tumble to go forward. They slide forward, but yes, you pull up on this a couple times and it flips and folds forward. There's no way to leave a car seat in place and still get back here to the third row. This being an independent rear suspension, we do get more room back here than previous generations of Tahoe. It's also wider than that VW because we have 3 seats across. Before I climb in, I will show you no lower attachment points for child seats in this one. It is 60-40 split, but I'm gonna go ahead, pop in, sit behind myself. Plenty of headroom, just a little bit more than in the back of that Atlas, and fairly comfortable seating position. Chevy was able to lower the floor with that independent rear suspension, but now the real test is pulling this seat back and putting it into place. Unfortunately, you saw it kind of moved forward, so I'm actually going to move over to the driver's side to see what it's like sitting behind somebody with the seat in a normal seating position. Just as much room as in the back of that much smaller VW Atlas. So I would say this speaks better of the Atlas than it does the Tahoe, but still very comfortable back here in the third row of the Chevy Tahoe. Let's go find another third row. All right, Gearheads, I'm back in the land of the crossover. I'm over at the Ford booth. We've got the Ford Explorer, a very popular three-row crossover SUV. And let's get into the back seat of this one. So, latch right there, flips and folds forward. Again, not child seat friendly. Come on, you gotta do better, Ford. And then climbing into the 50-50 split third row, I will go ahead and call out lower latch points in this one. So that is nice. Flip up headrest back here. Let's see just how comfortable it is. Got pretty good headroom. My knees, well, they are up a little bit in this one, but the real test is pulling this seat back into place. So it did not come all the way back just yet. Let's see if I can get it further. No, can't get it to slide further from back here. That's not too bad, but coming over here to the passenger side, definitely touching on the backs of the front seats. So definitely a negotiation with those passengers in the second row, but you can see plenty of headroom back here in the back. So headroom is not as much an issue as it is legroom with this rear seat. But as you can tell from this passenger side over here, you can find a decent position with the second row seat. And let's see, nope, these seats don't recline. So good, not great here in the Ford Explorer. Let's go find another third row. All right, gearheads, we're at the Toyota booth, back in the land of crossovers with the traditional Highlander, not the Grand Highlander. We'll get to that in just a moment, but I want to show you exactly why the Grand Highlander exists by climbing in the third row of the traditional Highlander. First, points off for the way the second row seats fold, not child seat friendly, but we can get in here very easily to the three-person third row. I'm gonna go ahead and look, no lower latch points in this third row, and you can see it is kind of upright right now. I'm gonna go ahead and recline it just a little bit so that we can get into a slightly more comfortable position when I plop myself back here. So, not too bad. I'm wrestling with the center seat belt right here, but yeah, you can definitely get comfortable, but even with the seat reclined, my head is hitting the ceiling, so it is rather tight back here. We do have ceiling mounted vents, which are a nice touch, but it is rather cramped, and let's see if I can fit into the space vacated over here in, yeah. So this right here is why the Toyota Grand Highlander exists. This is how a 5'10" adult fits in the back of the traditional Highlander. Let's go check out that Grand Highlander, see how much more spacious it is, because I'm a little stuck. All right, gearheads, as promised, the new Grand Highlander, we'll see just how much more room it has in the third row versus the traditional Highlander, see why it's earned that name, Grand. So getting into the back seat, again, much like the traditional Highlander, not my favorite. I don't like this when there are options that allow you to keep a child seat in place. But popping in here, looking at the third row seats, you do have lowered latch points only on the passenger side back here in the third row. So that's a nice touch. It is a 3-seat third row, so you can seat, in theory, 3 people back here. It is upright right now, but if I can reach over my shoulder and recline, well, I can find a very comfortable seating position back here. And I definitely have more headroom than in the traditional Highlander. Let's pull this seat back and into place. I definitely have more leg room. So even if I had cargo back behind me and had to sit, this is how I would sit average, like in a Toyota Grand Highlander third row. I can say definitely better than the traditional Highlander, but not as good as what we've got coming up next. Now we get to my favorite, the minivan. This really is the best all-around platform for all 3 rows. We've got sliding doors that are very kid-friendly, and then this model does have the super long slide second row seats. Unfortunately, they're not child seat friendly, because when you fold them up to get into that back seat, you can see that is definitely not child seat friendly, but you can climb in here to the third row very nicely. Lots of room to get in back here. Very comfortable when it comes to my leg position, my head. I've got plenty of headroom. No rear sunshades in this model, but you can get them. I've got an auxiliary jack over here, auxiliary jack and USB over here. And if you pull this strap right here, you can see it reclines quite a long ways, so you can get very comfortable. I'll actually show you myself. It's a little awkward to grab that strap, but you can get very comfortable back here in the third row of the Toyota Sienna minivan. Minivans are really where it's at, so this is definitely my vote here at the Toyota booth for the best third row. All right, gearheads, after seeing the Tahoe over at Chevy and the Sienna here at the Toyota booth, surely this big body-on-frame Sequoia has a roomy third row seat, right? So we're gonna go ahead, open the door, look in the back. This is the top capstone trim, so we get all this nice leather in here, but we're gonna go ahead, flip and fold the seat. Again, just like the Tahoe, no child seat is staying in place right there, but I do have steps getting all the way up into the third row seat here of the Sienna. I will call out, I do not see any lower latch points all the way across for seatbelts in this one. It is a 60-40 split, 3-person third row, and it does recline. I'm gonna go ahead, climb in back here, and yeah, I think the traditional Highlander had more headroom for somebody of my 5'10" stature, even with the seat back reclined just a little bit. So that's quite a unique look. I will say these are power recline. The button's right there. Thought that would be easier to show you, but here we go. We can recline it. And now, yeah, I'm a little bit better here with it reclined. There is also a trick feature. These slide forward and back, but unfortunately, I don't think they could get far enough back for the amount of leg room that I would need behind the second row. Yes, the Grand Highlander and the Sienna definitely out third row the biggest vehicle in the Toyota SUV lineup. All right, gearheads, I'm over at Jeep or Wagoneer, and I'm about to climb into the third row of the Wagoneer to show you just what the big body-on-frame SUV looks like from the Stellantis family of brands. So we've got a nice power step here, but you can either fold the seat down completely like that, or hit the button right there, which tips and folds it forward. And yes, Wagoneer, you get huge props from me because you can keep a child seat in place and then climb into the third row. Very easy process climbing into the third row. Very chair-like seating position back here. I am very much like I would be in one of the front two rows, although right now I'm currently sitting up a little higher than I would like to be, so I'm going to do my power recline and get very comfortable back here. I do have air vents here on the sides in front of me. The rows in front do not have air vents in the ceiling, so that is a little bit of a knock here, but not in this third row. It is 3 people wide, lots of room, but I do not see lower tethers down low for child seats. But you do get USB-A and USB-C power back here. So in the battle of big 3-row body-on-frame SUVs, Sequoia, not so much. Tahoe did pretty good. This Wagoneer is where it's at. But let's go check out the Grand Wagoneer L, the stretched, longer version, see what that's like, because I don't think I need any more room, but, you know, maybe a little bit more room is nice. This is really good. Let's go check out the Grand Wagoneer L. All right, here is the L version, much longer back here in the back than the version I was just in. You can see the wheels are back a little bit further in this one, and we also have a center console. Let's see, do the seats do the same trick? Yes, they do. Very child seat friendly, although very interestingly, we hit the screen on the back of the front seats. Let's climb back here. No additional room in the third row to speak of, but still very chair-like seating position, very comfortable soft leather, and no latch points down low. So all around, I would say Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer, whether it's the L or the standard length, huge wins. And oh, I didn't even mention, we've got our own skylight up above us. This is definitely a win in the 3-row competition. I doubt I will find a more luxurious, more comfortable third row, but the hunt continues. All right, we're still at the Stellantis family of brands. Here is Chrysler's only vehicle moving into the 2024 model year. It is the Pacifica minivan. Surely it's got a good third row seat, right? But here in the hybrid model, we get seats that slide forward that aren't child seat friendly. If you get these stow and go seats, you can climb into the back row with a child seat still in place. Looks like somebody's been folding the seats around here in this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this side up and show you, once I've got the headrest in place, that it is a 60/40 split bench that folds into the floor. One of the nifty tricks of the minivan segment is just how easy it is to fold the seats around. We do have lower latch points here on the driver's side, but nothing here on the passenger side for child seat. But let's go ahead, climb back here and see, what do we got? Very comfortable, very chair-like. My knees aren't up high. I do have plenty of headroom. We've got the fam cam system here, so the driver can keep eyeballs on me. That's really nice. I've got ceiling mounted vents. I've got shades here on the side. fairly nice. Let's pull that seat back. And yes, even with the seat in place, very comfortable. I'd say next to the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer, which are supremely luxury vehicles, this comes in a very close second in the Stellantis family of brands. But let's keep exploring, see what else we can find with 3 rows of seats. The search continues. All right, gearheads, we're back at Jeep proper this time with the Grand Cherokee L, the newest addition to the Grand Cherokee family, with something over like 70% of vehicle shoppers wanting a 3rd row seat in this segment. And Jeep felt like they had to introduce a 3-row option for the Grand Cherokee. You can see here, flip and fold the seats forward, very child seat friendly. I like that. Huge bonus points, just like the Wagoneer. Coming back here to the back seat, you can see it is a 2-seat rear seat. And we're looking here, can I find, no, it does not look like we have any lower latches, but gonna go ahead, climb behind, or climb in the 3rd row. Yeah, fairly comfortable. Pretty good headroom up here. Nice glass, so I'm not claustrophobic. I've got a air vent here in the side. I've got power over here, but now's the moment of truth. Let's pull this seat back into place. And yeah, plenty of room back here. Nice headroom all around, very comfortable. We also have the fam cam system. So again, just like the Chrysler Pacifica, the driver can keep an eye on me. Very nice, very comfortable. I'd say this would at least tie the Pacifica if it had a 3rd seat back here in the back. But all around, really good showing from the Stellantis family of brands. Now, the hunt continues. Over here at the GMC booth, GMC just unveiled the new 2024 Acadia. That's the new Denali trim. Unfortunately, I can't get it in today, but yesterday I did climb in the back. I'll go ahead and put that footage in, show you what that 3rd row is like. So let's talk about getting into the back. You have this lever right here, which does my favorite thing. As a father of a 5-year-old who's still riding in a car seat, you can leave that car seat in place and still get back into the back. I love this. This is on both seats, and even if you get the bench seat, this is still the case. Looking back into the back, you have a 3-row or 3-person 3rd row. There we go, that's the term. And even back here in both the 2nd and the 3rd row seats, you get that dual texture, dual material usage back here on the seats. I'm gonna go ahead and climb in to the back row. You can see headroom is still quite nice back here. So again, calling back that Toyota Grand Highlander, very similar, very boxy shape outside translates to very similar headroom in here. I will say though, the angle of my legs is a little raised back here, and I'm guessing leg room is going to be a tough sell as I pull this seat back and latch it into place. Yes, my knees are on the back of the hard seat here, so it is definitely going to be a negotiation with the passenger riding in front of me, but it is very easy to open that up and escape, if you will. Calling into account rear seat comfort, you still have those ceiling mounted vents here in front of you, so it'll be blowing right in your face, and it should keep you cool back here. I will go ahead and call out, while we do have 3 seat belts all the way across, there are no lower latch points on here. I was in the back of this vehicle earlier, and I did see that there are top tethers on the back side, but you're gonna have to use the seat belt method for putting in child seats back here. And then it does not look like we get anything but a single USB-C port on both sides. It's way too dark to even show you over there, but we have 2 USB-C ports back here in the back, but that is about it for rear power. Did you know that Hummer made an SUV version of their crazy off-road electric truck? Yes, and this is built on the same platform as the upcoming Cadillac Escalade IQ, but unfortunately for this test, as we open the back doors and look just over the back seat, yeah, no 3rd row in this very massive, very large electric SUV, but tons of storage back here. So yes, unfortunately, even here at the Hummer section of the GMC booth, the search continues. All right, gearheads, I've made it over to Buick, where their 3-row is the Enclave. And I have a sneaking suspicion this vehicle is about to get an upgrade, because the GMC and Chevy versions built on the same platform already have. But until that happens, we've got this one to look at. And I have to come over to the passenger side to show you the trick feature here, because while it does have child seat friendly second row seats, it is only here on the passenger side. So just something to note. Huge kudos to Buick for actually giving us that option. But you can see here we have a 3-seat rear seat. I'm gonna go ahead and look. No lower latch points anywhere across the back, but I'm gonna go ahead and climb in. Very comfortable, very roomy, plenty of headroom up above my head. I've got pretty good shoulder room. I don't know about putting 3 people my size back here, but let's go ahead and pull this seat back into place. All right, my knees are touching. It is a hard seat back, but it is not uncomfortable. And this seat does slide forward, so I could negotiate with that person and have just a little bit more comfort, especially if they're trying to lean back just a little bit. And I can stay cool with ceiling mounted air vents. So very nice touch here in the Buick Enclave. But again, you have to get out and in through the passenger side. All right, gearheads, I've made it over to the Cadillac booth with their version of that Buick Enclave. This is the XT6. It is their 3-row crossover, and we will absolutely look at the Escalade here in just a second. But you can see here we have the bench seat in this one, and yes, too, it gets the child seat friendly second row seat so that I can climb back in to the 2-person rear seat. So the Buick had 3-person. We only have a 2-person rear seat back here. No lower latches to speak of. I'm gonna go ahead, climb in behind myself. Still plenty of headroom. I'm guessing the legroom is gonna be about the same. So yeah, if you negotiate with the people in front of you, decent amount. We've got a couple USB-C ports back here. All around, fairly comfortable, but let's go see what the Escalade has in store. Oh, and by the way, that trick feature, just like the Buick, is only on the passenger side. Let's go see what that Escalade is like. So Cadillac brought the big guns when it comes to the Escalade. They brought the supercharged V8 powered Escalade V, but that doesn't change the interior any. I do want to call out these door handles don't move. There's no electronic release on the back, but much like the Chevy Tahoe we saw earlier, you get the same functionality here where you've got to pull this lever twice to flip and fold the seat out of the way. I really like this kind of plum leather here in the Escalade V. I'm gonna go ahead and put that 3rd row seat up. Again, other than the seating surfaces, this really is the same as the Chevy Tahoe because it's on a shared platform. So all around, very comfortable. 3-person seating all the way across. Can get very, very comfortable back here. We've got USB-C power back here. We've got air vents in the suede headliner. All around, it's very nice, and this thing can move. Let's keep looking for that perfect 3rd row. Cadillac also brought the all-electric Escalade IQ. This is built on the same Ultium platform as that Hummer EV SUV, but if you peek in that 3rd window back there, you see there is actually a 3rd row in this one. Unfortunately, you can see it's behind glass. I can't get in, so the search continues. All right, gearheads, we can't talk Cadillac Escalade without talking about its main rival and the Lincoln Navigator. Ford did not bring an Expedition, but this is the same essential vehicle. So we'll go ahead, pop into this one and see just how easy it is to get into that 3rd row. Ford gets major kudos here, beating out both the Cadillac Escalade, the Chevy Tahoe, and Chevy Suburban, all the GM vehicles, because child seat friendly 2nd rows. Huge kudos for them introducing that. And with its independent rear suspension, we get a chair-like seating position back here. Very comfortable. We'll go ahead and call out these are power reclining 3rd rows, so that's very nice. But even in its most upright position, I've got a decent amount of headroom. We've got air vents in the suede headliner in this one as well. All around, very comfortable. It is a 3-person across 3rd row seat, and they even include lower latch points on both of the outboard spots here for child seat installation. So all around, the third row of the Navigator and the Ford equivalent of it beat out all of the third rows in the equivalent or the competition from General Motors. Is it better than that Grand Wagoneer? Well, we'll have to keep looking, and I'm going to mull on that one just a little bit, but the search continues. All right, gearheads, back at Chevy, where they have introduced the all-new 2024 Traverse. Unfortunately, as you can see from the sticker here, the vehicle is locked. They do have the current generation Traverse back here, which I can climb into, but it is essentially the same as the Buick Enclave and the Cadillac XT6. So you know what that means. The search continues. All right, gearheads, Kia has a 2-for-1 for us right here with that Aruba green Sorento and this white Kia Telluride. I'm gonna go ahead and start in the Sorento just because it is the smaller of the two and the one we most recently tested. I'm gonna go ahead and pop in to the back seat here and show you, unfortunately, like many three-row vehicles, climbing in the back, you push this button right here and it does this little mechanism right here. Unfortunately, the power's off, but it slides forward and out of your way. It is not child seat friendly, but climbing in to the third row, whoo, goodness, it is dark back here. You can see it is, wow, a two-person third row seat, so no pretension there. I'm gonna go ahead, sit down. It is very low, my knees are very high, and I've got a decent amount of headroom, but I do feel very cramped back here. And if I had this seat pulled back any further, I would be on it. So definitely not the best entry in the segment, but now let's go check out that larger Kia Telluride, see how it does. The Kia Telluride is a bigger vehicle meant to be a little more luxurious, a little more comfortable for 3 rows of passengers. Let's see, yeah, the power is off on this one as well, but I can tell you from experience with the brand, it basically does that. It slides forward and leans the seat back up, allowing you access to the 3-person third row of seats. I can say the driver's side has lower latch points for a child seat, and it is a 60/40 with recline. I'm gonna go ahead, climb in here. This is its most upright position. Headroom is a little tight, but pull that strap at my hip and get it to recline just a little bit. That's definitely more comfortable. We do have roof mounted vents with a suede headliner in this one. I've got a USB-C port back here, and if I were to pull the seat, well, that's not really fair because it didn't go all the way, but fairly decent room back here in the third row. Of the Kia brand, this is definitely the third row to have. That Sorento, really, just kind of a bonus seat for children. Search continues. All right, gearheads, my quest to check out the third row seat in all the vehicles here at the Detroit Auto Show ends with the brand new Honda Pilot. This is a new, bigger, boxier shape than the one it replaces, so all of that should benefit the third row. I'll go ahead and caveat, this being an auto show, the power is off to this vehicle. It does have power releases in a couple of places to help aid getting in the back seat. But in the event that the power is off, there is this tether back on the back of the seat that does the exact same thing. So not a child seat friendly second row seat in that you can't leave a child seat in place and still climb in the back. But we do have a few steps to very easily get into this back seat. Going and sitting down, very comfortable. I would say this ranks up there with all the other bigger crossovers like that new Atlas and like some of the GM products. We've got air vents back here, a USB-A port, some lighting. Again, the power's off back here, but a fairly comfortable seat nonetheless. Pulling this seat back and putting it in place, you can see I'm not touching, so I've got a nice bit of room. This is, it's hard to tell, it's so dark back here. This is a 3 across back seat. I don't really see it being a very comfortable 3-person, but I will also note, see if I can get more light by putting that seat forward again. We do have lower latch points here for a child safety seat on the passenger side only. And while we're talking about straps, I'll go ahead and show you this strap right here. Actually allows it to recline. So showing you again, yeah, This is a pretty comfortable three-row crossover that definitely ranks high up there in the crossover segment. All right, gearheads, there you have it. I've been all over the North America International Auto Show floor, exploring the third row seats in any vehicle that I could get in that had a third row seat. And my conclusion is this: for a crossover, the best all around for me in my life stage with a 5-year-old in a child seat is that the new 2024 VW Atlas, not the Cross Sport, which is this one, which doesn't really have a usable third row seat. This 3-row Atlas definitely won me over with the ease of entry into the back seat and the fact that they aren't really pretentious about the fact that you're really only going to get 2 people in that back seat. So yes, the mechanism allowing you back here in the back, and the fact that it is a very comfortable, very roomy 2-person third row definitely has it at the top of my crossover third row comfort level. But what is my all-around favorite here at the show? Well, let me take you back across the hall to show you that one. Well, here we are. This is my pick, my winner for the best third row vehicle, best third row comfort, best third row anything at the North America International Auto Show. Yes, it's Wagoneer by Jeep. Is it any wonder that a brand that really technically only has one vehicle, one platform, which is a 3-row SUV, has perfected the formula as much as Wagoneer has? From the fact that you can get in here, push one button right here, have a child seat friendly access to that third row of seats, which is very chair-like, very roomy, and could very well accommodate 3 passengers in the back. We do have child seat anchors there. On the driver's side, you have that very large back window for visibility. All around, this is a very good, very comfortable vehicle, both in the long wheelbase form and in short wheelbase form. So no matter how you slice it, Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer, Wagoneer L, Grand Wagoneer L, it is a very comfortable vehicle in all 3 rows, and definitely wins my vote for the best 3-row comfort here at the Detroit North America International Auto Show, with a close runner-up, maybe that Lincoln Navigator. That is it from me here with 3-row vehicles at the North America International Auto Show. If you want to see more of our coverage from this show, be sure and hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you're notified every time a vehicle or a video drops. And you can definitely find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, from the North America International Auto Show, until next time, gearheads, bye.